Ryan and I are at Paradise this morning, hoping to get walk-up permits for the Disappointment Cleaver route on Mount Rainier. Got a great weather window this weekend and both looking to get our first ascents on the big one.
Once you leave Camp Muir, we do recommend each group carries with them one stove, one shovel, one sleeping bag, one sleeping pad for search and rescue purposes. If you do get injured down low, you might take you 3 hours to get out. Up high, it could be 3 days. When you head up, you'll be going up kind of a pretty well-trod boot pack up to Panorama Point. That's a big day hiking area. Things are starting to melt out. Make sure you're staying on snow or pavement or rock if you see it.
We are up here on Panorama Point, going up DC route on Mount Rainier. Got a crowd down low, but we imagine the crowds will thin out the further up we get, and it should be a pretty stellar weekend.
All right, our arrival at Camp Muir marks the end of day one with 5 miles and 4,600 feet of gain behind us. We'll now set up base camp here at 10,000 feet and rest and recoup for our climb tomorrow.
Tomorrow should be good climbing. A little bit of a lenticular when you look at the vertical model, happening, you know, like 7 or 8 in the morning. Probably a disturbance rolling through there. But then it does look like it clears up.
We get to Ingram Flats soon after that. It's usually about an hour after we are about 1,000 feet up. And that's a good place to kind of plan the next move, which is kind of the crux of the trip, because you're going through some pretty significant overhead hazards. There's the ice box, because that thing's throwing ice down at you, and then there's the bowling alley, because the cleaver's falling apart and dropping rocks on people. So you really want to make sure you move through there quickly.
So far, so good.
Above the cleaver, switchbacks up to 13.2, which is another big obstacle. Kind of this ice wall crevasse situation that was a pretty significant hazard for us last year at the end of the season.
All right, after a very long morning and what seemed like an endless mountain, we've made it to the crater rim of Mount Rainier. From here, we'll cross the crater proper and go find the summit, which is hidden here in the clouds somewhere.
Get to the summit, and remember, once you're at the top, you're only halfway there.
We are on the highest point in all of Washington State, Mount Rainier, 14,411 feet. Woo!
The most important thing for me is going to be returning that permit that you all get here in a minute. That box out in the hallway is where you slide that after you come back.
Well, we're pretty much back out of the danger zone now. We got all the hard stuff behind us for the most part. We're still on the glacier, but we're back here at the Ingram Flats camp. Successful summit, route was in good shape. Snow's getting a little sloppy now, so be a little bit of a wet mess once we get off the glacier, but other than getting skunked on the view, it's been awesome.
All right, it's just before 5 p.m. and we're back at the parking lot. Successful climbing Mount Rainier. Woo! Leave me hanging.
You guys awesome.
Yeah! All right, we get to do what every climber must do, which is return their permit. But this time we get to write that we're successful on the summit. 6, 9, 24. Rainier summited.
Of adventure.